Good Lord. Ah, gee. Ah, gee. All right, hold on. He's a pilot. It's got a cloud patch. This is so good. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so good, dude. Oh, stop it. He's so happy. This is probably his best outfit, like by a wide margin. This is really good. I like that. That's fun. That's fun. All right, let's start with the weapon. Pilot's collar. All right, it's an AoE heal with an AoE magic defense increase. Okay, this is really good. So right now, Red doesn't actually have a magic defense increase for his friends. So this is really good. I wonder if they've given up on making him just a debuffer now with this. Because he also didn't have an AoE heal either. His only AoE heal was an AoE regen, which was the best form of regen in the game. But he didn't actually have a heal. And it's really weird because Red's got some of the best like debuffing weapons in the game, but all of his buff stuff is kind of like an either non-existent or not good, right? So it was weird that he only debuffed when everybody else in the game has both, except for Red, right? It was very strange. Like even Yuffie, who's a really good debuffer, has like really good buffs too. So it was really strange that Red didn't have good buffs on top of it. So having an MDef all is really, really good. And it does go to, interesting. So the base doesn't go up at OB6, but the max does. Okay. This is very similar to Centipede, Matt's Centipede, right? Matt's Centipede does the same thing where his physical defense does mid to mid until you get it to OB6 and then it goes mid to high. Yeah, and then it maxes. It's the exact same thing with boost heal 46, buff debuff extension 39. This is great. Yeah, this is great. This is great with the heal boost materia slot as well. This is good. Yeah, no, it's good. This is good. This is a good weapon. Definitely not worth pulling, right? Definitely not worth pulling. Honestly, just being real. It's a very good weapon. You'll be very glad to have this once it's in the pool, but not worth pulling for this specifically. It's just good. It's all right, right? The reason why I was so excited about Angeal, for folks that watch the Angeal stream, or if you're watching on YouTube here, the Angeal highlights that I posted with the Stalwart Integrity, is because it does two things, right? It does an attack buff and a physical defense buff. This does a full heal and a magic defense buff, which is very, 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 very good, right? We just pulled on Aerith a whole bunch because she has an AoE heal that does a physical defense buff that goes from mid to high. That's very, 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 very good. The reason why Aerith was so powerful and the reason why Aerith was so good is because she had magic attack all allies here, and that increases your team's power while giving her really good defensive healing options that buff your team as well, while also having that extra ability to give your other party members more ATB to be able to fight faster, which is like those two things on top of the ability to have a really good heal and a really good defensive buff is why it made that banner worth going in on, versus like where this one is very good, right? We will have this on Wishlist. We'll be pining for this for ticket draws. Like this is a very, very good weapon, but it's not worth prioritizing, right? Because it's not limited. It's going to be in the pool of weapons after this. You don't have to think about it too hard. You're going to get it eventually, and when you do get it, it will be very useful, right? So don't hear what I'm not saying. It's great. It's a great weapon. Solid like 9 out of 10 type of weapon. Probably one of Red 13's staples moving forward. Once you get it to a decent overboost, even at OB0, this is still a really good weapon that gives 30 points of heal and 12 buff debuff extension while giving all of your allies magic defense up and doing a very good heal in an area of effect. This is a great weapon, right? Great weapon. The outfit, they did give up. Okay, they did give up. So for those that don't know, the last outfit that Red 13 got was debuff extension only. They did not do buff debuff extension. So not only did they throw that out the window and make it so that he gets buff debuff extension on like just in general, but they also gave him the plus, which means instead of this being a weapon ability buff debuff extension, this is a unique ability that he can add on top of stacking a whole bunch of weapons that give buff debuff extension, which makes this an incredibly powerful outfit. Incredibly powerful outfit. The only thing that I'm not a huge fan of is the boost heal. Not that there's anything wrong with it, it's just a little underwhelming, right? I'd rather have some defensive stats here versus the heal stat, because heal is pretty easily stacked right now. There's a couple of really good options for boosting heal with weapons. So I don't like that he got a weapon R ability here. So that's like the only downside, quote unquote, for this, is that I don't like that this didn't get it would have been insanely good, right? If they gave this, even boost HP, honestly, I think probably would have been better. But yeah, boost heal is a little underwhelming, but buff debuff extension plus is great. So yeah, overall, great outfit, great weapon, above average with the actual outfit itself. But this is probably a full skip, right? This is probably a full skip, unless you're a Red 13 fan, which obviously I'm not talking to you, right? This isn't meant to convince the Red 13 fans of the world, because if you're a Red 13 fan, this outfit, first of all, is good, right? It's just good, number one. Number two, the outfit itself has buff debuff extension, which is great for Red 13, right? Excellent for Red 13. So that's number two. And then this weapon's really good. Like, this weapon's super strong. So if you like Red 13, this is an excellent banner for Red 13, right? Excellent. No doubt in my mind. Excellent for Red 13. So now the other question is, what's Barret's weapon do? What'd that gun do? Shit. Yeah, that's really good. Well, that's a bummer. Yeah, it goes to high. Yeah, all right, cool. All right, so this is essentially, this is the Kimura wand, but instead of physical attack, it's magic attack. So this is very good. And it's actually got a really respectable magic stat. That's surprising to me. That's surprising to me. That's actually for a support weapon, that's a very decent magic stat. It's probably because he got a magic defense R ability, which is obviously not like, generally speaking, you don't like to see like a defensive stat, but nowadays, the upper level content that we're running against, especially with this brutal tower as an example, like the brutal battle tower, having defensive stats matters a lot, right? It matters a lot, and it's gonna start to leak into like typical play as we continue to get stronger and as the community starts to like grow in power level and as these new weapons come out, right? The enemies are going to start doing massive amounts of damage, where we're going to want to have like our abilities that have magic defense, physical defense, etc. Before, where we would see like an R ability with magic defense or physical defense and go, we probably won't use that very much, right? This has not only magic defense, but also buff debuff extension with a very good buff that is like an AoE buff for your entire team. This is a very, very strong weapon. This is top tier weapon right now. I'm sorry, I'm getting off the topic. This is a top tier weapon on like immediately. This is top tier, and it has a sigil boost here, which I did not expect it to have, which makes this even better. Because this could have easily been a heal boost material or a cure all material, which Barret at this point doesn't really need. So having another option that actually gives him a sigil break materia slot is welcome, I would think. I think he's got two that have AoE cure slots already, and both of those are very, very strong weapons that are easily like main handable. So giving him another option that has a sigil boost option is great. Absolutely great. Buff debuff extension, magic defense is great. 609 magic attack, like I said, is very, very good. This is a top tier weapon immediately, right? Much like Stalwart Integrity, where Stalwart Integrity gives you a Kimura wand level of stats across your entire team, but it's not a limited weapon, makes that one of the best support weapons in the game, right? And support weapons, I feel like, especially from newer players, tend to get thrown by the wayside because they're just trying to like do as much damage as possible. Debuffing and buffing in this game is so crucial to be able to clear anything past the main story content. Clearing EX battles and events, clearing crash battles when the difficult crash battles come out, clearing summon fights, like all of those fights, the stuff that gets past like the basic, like I'm just, you know, turning on the game, playing for 5 minutes and turning it off, right? Anything past that requires like buffing and debuffing, right? It requires you use these status effects. So these weapons, if you don't have access to it, it's very important. The reason why this is top tier immediately is the only application of magic attack all allies in the game was a limited weapon that is owned by Tifa, specifically Tifa. And you recall that Tifa does not have a bunch of defensive options in her kit, right? So typically speaking, if she's running the Bahamut Claws, right? I think it's called Bahamut Fangs. If she's running that weapon, she's usually running it, you're running her as your offensive unit, right? Not the defensive unit. So like you're running that weapon because you have to, not because you want to, right? And that's the difference. This allows you to use Barret with 2 other magic attack users and not have to run a magic attack buffing weapon on one of the other 2 characters. They can run their normal elemental DPS. Their stronger single target attacks. So remember, Tifa's single target damage with that weapon is not as high as others. So like Vincent's Hugin Immunity as an example does 300% more damage. So like this is a great pairing with someone like Vincent, right? Because now you can buff Vincent's magic attack by yourself with your support while also getting their defensive stats up. And Barret has a physical defense up all allies as well. So now Barret has the ability to run not 1 but 2 weapons that can increase your entire team's defensive stats, which is very, very strong, while also still having a sigil break. So you're not even falling behind on sigil break phases. So this weapon, very, very good. That, I guess the only, if you want to call it a downside, I guess the downside is that it doesn't have any offensive capabilities, but like Barret doesn't need that. Barret doesn't have a good offensive kit. There's nothing in Barret's kit that says I do damage. All of his non-elemental damage that he has access to is very low percentage compared to the rest of the games. Like he can do damage, but there's no reason to make him do damage. So this is just great. This is just great. I think the only thing that this could be, that would make this better is if they gave Barret Provoke on this banner. That's it. I think that's the only thing that would have made this better, is if this provoked as well, instead of just leaving it on Angeal. Other than that, great weapon. Kind of a bummer that he didn't get an outfit too, because Barret's kind of low on outfits in general. I think he's gotten 2. But yeah, other than that, like I said, it's a great banner. Those weapons are fantastic. Oh, I love the effect too. Did you see how that looked when you used the ability? That was cool. Both weapons are really, really strong. These are great additions to the basic pool. They'll probably be on wishlist going forward, to be honest, because they're both very, very strong. If you were choosing to pull on this today, in terms of the wishlist, you're probably pulling for your offensive characters more than your defensive ones, because most of the defensive options that we have available for both Red 13 and Barret, you likely already have access to. But if you were trying to pull and if you're newer and you're trying to like build up for, say, just a defensive Red 13 or a support Red 13, both Silver and Ivy Collars are the two singular best weapons for Red 13 in this game right now. They are 3-gauge moves that lower enemy elemental resistance. So this one is wind and water resist. We also have a water guild battle going on right now, so Silver Collar is probably an immediate yes. And then Ivy Collar does fire and ice resist, while being a more offensive option with the R abilities versus the more defensive Silver Collar, which has buff, debuff, extension, and heal. These pair precisely with Red 13's new weapon. So this would actually max out your boost heal. This would get your buff, debuff, extension maxed out as well, I think. Hang on. 39 and 13 gives 52. So no, it's 3 points off. 3 points off if you use that one. I don't think he has another buff, debuff, extension weapon. He does not. So that would be his only option to use in his offhand that has buff, debuff, extension. That doesn't mean that you have to use this though. You can just slot in something else in the backhand, say like the 4-point shuriken from Yuffie that gives boost HP and buff, debuff, extension. That would max out his buff, debuff, extension easily, right? He only needs what, 16 points, right, to get it to 55, because the one has 39. But Silver Collar in general, very, very strong. Ivy Collar in general, very, very strong. Ivy Collar also gives 62 attack points, which is really, really high. It makes it a very usable sub weapon, so you can put that on as well. As far as the other weapons, in terms of the sub weapon options, you would probably be looking for more defensive stats with the boost, with the buff, debuff, extension to get the to get that maxed out. So you'd probably be looking to buff, debuff, extension. You'd be looking at something like I mentioned before, the 4-point shuriken, which gives boost HP. Is a great option. XIII also has an option that does boost heal very similar to the one that he has, another 62 points of boost heal. So that gives him another 31, which then puts him at what? 46 plus 31 is 77, plus another 31 maxes it out. So it gets you all the way up to 100 with just 3 weapons. So like, this is probably what you're choosing, if I'm being totally honest. And then his boost heal's at 100. His buff debuff extension is completely maxed out. So he's got a AoE heal with a maximum amount of heal. Oh, he doesn't even need that, right? Because oh no, he does, right? Because it only gives 10. This is why I hate boost heal on outfits. This is why I hate boost heal on outfits, because now like, he's got a boost heal 62. That weapon has boost heal 46. So this gets put in half if you're putting this in, well, I'm just saying this is in the offhand just for argument's sake here. But so then you're putting this in the offhand. So now it's 46 plus 31, right? Which gets him up to what, 77, right? Even if you put this in the main hand, this would get to 62. And then you'd have the offhand weapon, which was 46 divided by 2, which is 40 or 23, right? Then 23 plus 62 gets you up to 85, plus 10 gets you to 95, and you still have to run a sub weapon. So to get it maxed out. So the plus 10 on the outfit isn't doing anything for you unless those weapons are not OB10, and it's just a crutch to get you to where it's OB10, and that's why I don't like it, right? It's not that it's bad, it's fine, especially for the folks that don't have these weapons maxed out, which a lot of people, including myself, don't, right? So it's not useless from the start, it's just not as useful, because once you do max those weapons out, like we all eventually will, that outfit loses usability, and that sucks, right? That sucks. I hate that. But anyway, moving on. Since now buff debuff extension is maxed out, now you go through and your only real goal is to either try to fill out his damage, which you can totally do, or you can move on to defensive stats, kind of depending on what you need Red 13 to be. So in this case, I argue that nearly every single character in this game has to do some type of damage, right? Some type of damage. So if you look at Red 13's new weapon, check out its R abilities. It's specifically focused in magic attack, and although its stat is a little bit low, right, 516 is a pretty low magic attack stat, they are trying to push this weapon into magic attack abilities. So with that in mind, we're probably looking for anything that gives like a boost magic attack stat plus maybe some magic ability potency. Doesn't really matter. I think I'd probably, just because Barret's on this banner and it's a generically very good weapon, I'd probably put Electro-Cannon in here. Really high magic attack stat, gives magic ability and potency and magic attack stats as well. Plus, as it's just a weapon on its own, also incredibly strong. Like, really great option for Barret himself. So I'd probably slot that in. And then past that, there's no boost HP on this banner or on this outfit or anything yet. So there's a couple of options that have, or on this outfit, on this loadout, rather, on this loadout. So you'd probably want to have something that has boost HP. There are a couple of options that have boost HP 62. I don't think this is one. No. Tifa's Lightning Gloves is one. So the Crystal Gloves, this goes up to boost 62. I believe Cloud's Butterfly Edge goes up to 62 as well. And this one has Limit Break potency, which is only good if you're running damage. And I think Red only has like 2 options that do damage. And neither one of them are damage focused. They're more utility based. So not a great option, but it's there. None of these do, right? This Prism Rod? No. Lucia does. Nightjar does, that's right. It also has ability potency. So this is an option as well. If you're interested, it doesn't really matter. Whichever boost HP weapon you prefer. But you can just throw it on there. For me, I have Crystal Gloves at 62, so I'd probably look for another Barret weapon here, just because I'm pulling on the Barret banner. And for me, it's Shark Slayer all the way. Mostly because Shark Slayer, for one, pairs really well with his new weapon, gives him the rest of the buff debuff extension that he's going to need. Also gives some defensive stats as well. But it's a fire resist, water resist decrease on a 3 gauge, much like Red 13's, with a diamond sigil break as well. So that's what I would slot in the last one. Then that's what my wish list would be if I was pulling on this banner. Again, I do not recommend this if you're trying to save resources. Obviously, if money's no issue, or if you've got a bunch of resources lying around and you want to pull it on the Red 13 banner, by all means, right? Don't let me tell you what to do. But so that's what I would do. Silver Collar, Ivy Collar, Marching Horn, I believe this is called, Electro Cannon, and then Shark Slayer. I had it right in my head. There you go. Shark Slayer. There you go. And that's what I would do. And that's it for the banner. I think that's a an easy skip, though. I don't think this is worth pulling on at this point. There are banners out right now that are significantly better than this one. All three of these banners are, in terms of just general like usability, are better right now. However, again, both of those two weapons in the pool will be priorities for our accounts moving forward, because both of those weapons are very, 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 very good, and for different reasons too. But both of them are very, very good. Oh, easily like this. It is very cute though. It is very cute though. It's very good. And like I said, the two weapons that are releasing on the banner are both very good too. I'm impressed.